How you doing? This video today is about entrepreneur, businessman, employee, and women. Hope you like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and hit the like button and put the notification button on so that when I put a video out you can get it, okay? If you like. Alright, see ya. How's it going there? Tommy here. I want to make a video today about a couple of things that have been rumbling through my big empty head, about things that have happened recently and things that have happened in my life that make me have a wee bit of knowledge that I think I might be able to pass on. The items on the discussion are entrepreneurs, businessmen, steady employees, and women. I guarantee you this will get my wife watching. If I mention women in a video, she will want to know what is that idiot talking about now. But to go start the scene a little bit, I watched a game yesterday. I'm a Manchester United fan and Scotland supporter, obviously. And if you know anything about the game, it's 90 minutes as a game, and then any extra time for the game was stopped. Yesterday's game had 5 or 6 minutes, I think. Anyway, Manchester United had a goalkeeping error and they're down 1-0. They're playing alright, they're on top of the game, and at the 87th minute, Scott McTominay, who's a Scotland international player, gets brought on. And this is just to show you the euphoria that you can get. So watching this game, on comes young Scott. He's in the box and he scores a goal, and it's the equaliser. So he's just come on and he's been more effectiveness than anybody else in the pitch, really. He's scored the equaliser. He's ecstatic, can't control himself, and then 4 or 5 minutes later he scores the winning goal, and you can just see the ecstasy in that guy's face, because he's a Manchester United supporter. He's played for them since he was a little boy, and it's his team, and he's just effected a win, right? So as an entrepreneur, which I think I am, and I'll qualify this, I don't think I'm a businessman. I think businessmen are smarter, calculated, and cautious, and when they take a risk, it's more conservative than somebody who's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, in my opinion, is a bit of a gambler, a bit of a chancer. Somebody will have a go at something. So I would put myself in that category. I haven't been to business school. My son's been, and is still in it. And one of the other people that we're in business with has been. My other boy is doing it right now. And so they come off with terminologies that I just think, well, you're speaking a different language to me. So that's my opinion of what a businessman is. You know, they know all the terminology. They can go at the banks with all the printouts, the spreadsheets, the leverage and risks and blah blah. You know all that terminology if you know what I'm talking about. So I don't do that, but anybody that wants to go out and work for themselves has got an entrepreneurial spirit in them if they can go and do it and pull it off, right? So I have created and started quite a few businesses in my life. If I had to start from scratch tomorrow again, I would manage to do it and pull something together and get going. And that's what I do. I'm being very honest here. If we're in a bit of a sticky situation with anything, it's my stuff that I've learned in the streets of Entrepreneur Town, if you like, that have manage to get a business started with similar things that can help it survive. Whereas the guys with the terminologies and all that are the people who are the best people to make a business go forward and run. I probably am a danger because I'm the kind of guy, and I don't this not that I would do this. I'm probably not that kind of guy, but to liken it to Las Vegas. My wife's coming over to Vegas soon, so I'll meet her down there. But if you're in Vegas and you playing roulette and you hit a number and you get, you hit a win, the entrepreneur person would probably carry on thinking they can win the next one. And I'm even worse than that, because I think if this pays off, this is what I'm going to do next. And I think the entrepreneur can become a danger to the business. The very person that has got the wherewithal to get it up and running, scratch around, scrape around, get something created and up and running. And once I've done that, I kind of lose interest a little bit, and it's not a good thing to be. I think you're good if you're a businessman with a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit about you. That's probably the best. I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way, thinking, well, before in Scotland we had started off with a taxi, then got another one, and then had a bus, a minibus, then got a bus, and then applied for schools and got a bunch of buses, and then we had about 15 of them. No, I had 6 the second year. And then the taxi stuff, got some contracts for that. Somebody went out of business, and I thought, there's a chance there, let's go for it. And it worked. And then, we had 35 buses and a dozen taxis, and that was going good. And I thought, let's just open a used car dealership, and we'll do that. And I did that just as the whole world changed in 2008 with the downturn of the economies. And then you're scrambling and scraping, whereas a conservative person who was a business person would have had a more calculated approach to it. Am I making sense? All right, and here's the thing. I've got friends I went to school with who used to look at me on a Friday when I was struggling to make wages and would say, I don't know why you put yourself through all this. I just love getting my paycheck every Friday. And this particular guy had a little side hustle fitting carpets. Super nice guy, very clever, nice guy. That's what he wanted to do. He would never put himself into the spot that I put myself in. But we were just different. I wasn't right, he wasn't right. None of us were right or wrong. We're just different opinions on how to do something. So if you have the notion to start a business and go and do something, you need to figure out, am I an entrepreneur that's always going to be chasing the next thing and jeopardizing what we've already built? Or am I a businessman and I need to realise just buy a truck or have a plenty of cash before you go into it? Or buy a business and run it as a business person and develop that business. But the biggest question of all, right, and I can tell you this, is from a man's point of view, what type of person is your wife? What is she going to put up with? So you throw some things out there. I can't tell you the amount of times so it's okay thinking when you have a business that, I'll do it different than that guy, and I'll do it different than this guy. The amount of people that I've seen try to do that and think they know better than you, and then they come, things come around and they end up flat in their face in a worse spot than you everywhere because they thought they knew better and they never paid attention to where you went wrong. Okay, I've seen it, witnessed it, experienced it dozens of times. If it can happen, if it can go wrong for me with an engine going or a motor going or a truck getting wrecked or a truck that you've got payments on going down and they can't get the parts to fit, if you're sitting there in a bubble and you think, it won't happen to me, there's every chance that it can happen to you. All right, so here's the thing. The last person to get paid in a small business is you, the man who owns it. You are the last person to be paid. I can't tell you the amount of times on a Friday when I've paid out all the men and there's nothing left for me. worked hardly on any of them all week, and you get up the road with nothing. Walk in the front door. What we doing this weekend? Well, not be much. Kids won't give you money. And that's how it goes. Certainly there have been experiences where I have been Scott McTominay and have pulled off something and had that euphoric feeling where you've been up against it and you've managed to pull it off. That, my friends, is something that I have the privilege of experiencing, that euphoric and satisfaction of pulling off something against the odds that my friend from school, because you're being steady and being careful, you're getting your pay every week, right? And you don't have to ever say to your wife, listen, that 10,000 that we've got put aside for a holiday, I've got to buy a transmission for the truck, I've got to buy an engine for the bus, or I've got to, that is just the way it goes, ups and downs. And so some people like, I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong, right? Some people like the steady, and they'll probably have less heart conditions than the ones that go on the roller coaster ride. But I have been on the roller coaster ride now for 30 years, and I like it, does it get any easier when there's no money to pay you on a Friday? No, it doesn't. It just feels the same. I have amassed assets at times in my life. I've amassed some money, and my wife and I have had good experiences, but she has been through every step of it with me where nope, no money, and then people want to do things and you're going, yeah. And the irony of the whole entrepreneur thing is that you can be sitting there with stacks of assets, you've earned loads of money, things are going really well, and because of cash flow issues, you're potless. You don't have a pot to, do anything in. But the next day, you could have 10 grand coming in, but you're sitting there for a small period of time. The irony of it all is just sublime at times. But if you don't have the right wife or the right partner or girlfriend that you're doing it with, and they can't deal with that, and you can, I kind of sympathise with you a little bit, because you'll have a tug. You'll want to do something and your wife might not. So but there's obviously could be compromise there for you, and those people that go into something would be more successful than me at it, probably because they'll have their wife there as a voice of reason behind them, saying, listen, no, I know we've won 50 grand in the roulette, there's a chance that if we spin it now we're risking too much, whereas idiot head here will want to keep going and try and do something. So who's right and who's wrong? None of them. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just difference of opinions. I'm really grateful for the wife that I've got, that it's stuck with me through all the years. When the buses were doing great and the exchange rate was $2 to the pound and we could fly out to Las Vegas for a weekend and have great times, that's the same woman that said all the times where everybody else gets paid except for me. So it makes a difference. Big difference. I couldn't imagine what it would be like if you never had the support of that behind you. Anybody that's out there right now that has gone into this trucking thing in the last few years and they've invested heavily, the market's going down, they've lost their shirt, they're either going out of business or they've just gone out of business, don't let it put you off. Not in the slightest. Anybody who's anybody out there, let me find it. Hold on. I've got a quote in my phone here. I read it out in a short video the other day there. I took a picture in this phone here. Just bear with me. But anybody, this is pretty cool. This is Teddy Roosevelt who said this. Come on, you clown, get this working with one at your left hand. It says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, not getting your wages on a Friday, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms and the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause." And this comes back to the Manchester United boy scoring those goals. Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So if you've got the guts to go out and do it, and you've got the support of your wife to go do it, this can be reversed round about. If the wives want to do it and the husbands, I'm just, from my point of view, this is, okay? Don't shoot me because I'm not into all the gender stuff. I can't keep up with all that. This is from my point of view. If you've got that and you want to do it, go do it. And if you fail at it, just get up and do it again. Just because it failed once doesn't mean to say it'll fail the next time if you try something. So that's where I'm at with stuff. It is lonely if you surround yourself with people who are totally different from you. Fortunately for me, throughout my life, I've always had a few friends. My friend Davey in Scotland, my friend Paul in Stoke, my friend Bob that passed away, my dad was a good example. People that have always tried to do something and create something, and have been of a like mind to myself. And to be fair, their wives are the same as my wife. They have ridden the roller coaster right along with their husbands, but it's a lonely gig. It can be difficult. You second guess yourself a lot of times, but in the end, if you stick at it, I believe if you stick at it and you've got commitment and half a brain, you don't need much brain to make it happen. If you've got a bit of brain, you stick in and you work hard, it comes, it just comes. The only other danger depends how big you want to go, right? So if you get it up and get it going, try to be careful when you get it going and be a businessman and not a serial entrepreneur, because that can be dangerous. I've experienced that. I try hard not to do that anymore, but the urge is still there. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Let me know what you think, eh? Thoughts, please. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. That'd be fantastic. See ya.